Good morning, my YouTube friends, and welcome to another episode of JC Bass Fishing Channel. Today we're going to talk about my favorite knots while fishing for bass. These are the different knots that I use in different settings or setups that I use while I fish for bass. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, guys. And first of all, let me go ahead and say this. If you're new to my channel and you're just looking for different ways to try to go bass fishing and try something new, you've been trying something else that's not working for you, this is the right place for you. I'm going to be talking to you about different ways I use to fish for bass that are working for me. They might be the same ones that you're using, but there might be something different that I'm doing that you're not doing, and that will help you out. Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button down in the bottom and hit that bell, and once you do that, you're gonna receive notifications that I posted a video, and that way you can watch it. Also, share the videos with your friends and with your family members, so that way everybody get to see the different videos that I use. Today we're going to be talking about 5 different knots that I use in different settings to ensure that I don't break off, or at least that I have a better chance to land a fish. Those knots are going to be the Pitzen Knot, the Snell Knot, the Palomar Knot, the double Uni Knot, and the loop knot. I'm not going to show it in that particular order. I'm going to tell you which one is the one that I'm going to be showing you and the way I do it. And then from there, I'm going to try to put a camera on my hand so you can see how I make that nut, and that way you can learn how to do it yourself and you can use them too. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, my friends. So the first one I'm going to show you is an easy one. This one is the Palomar knot, and it's very simple. I'm just going to show you the nut, how to make this nut. So what you do is you go through the loop to the front of the loop. So you see the hook over here, you go through the front of the loop right here, and you bring your line back. Then you go back through the loop again, like that, and you make sure the best you can that the line is separating. Okay, what you're trying to do is you're trying to prevent friction as much as you can from the line, so it will not weaken the line. Once you do that, you bring it over and you go over it, go in between the loop that you just made, bring the line open back together and go through the front of the hook again, and then start tightening up the line. You can wet the line with some saliva or something like that. You can with your mouth, or you can just pull the string real slow until you are right there. And once the nut is almost tight, you pull a little bit, and there it is. It's one of the strongest, if not the strongest nut that you can use, and it's a simple nut. There it is. Then after that, you cut your slack. Let me get the scissors real quick. You cut the slack little bit. There you go. And there you have it. That is a very simple, very strong nut. If you're in a rush fishing, you know, you got fish busting up and you want to throw a fluke or something like that, and you need a quick nut, this is it. It works perfectly, is very strong, and it could help you land some fish. So this one that I just showed you is the Palomar knot. Next, let's talk about the Snell knot. The Snell knot, I like to use this knot when I'm setting up for flipping or pitching, you know, heavy cover or heavy weights. I like to use the Snell knot. Depending on how heavy I'm gonna be using for my weight, then is how many turns I do around the hook to ensure that I don't lose my hook and I don't break off. So how do I make it? I'm just gonna show you how to make the nuts. So your normal setup, you're gonna have the bobber stopper, okay, right in the line, and I'm gonna be using braid line. And then after the bobber stopper, you're gonna have your weight, okay. And after you add your bobber stopper and your weight, you're gonna put your hook. All right, well, this is what you do. Again, you go through the front of the loop in the hook, okay. Just make sure you have enough line to make a little loop. And once you go in, you're gonna make a little loop on the line right here, and you're gonna hold it with your finger or your thumb right there. All right, after you do that, you're gonna go around on the bottom of the loop. This is the line. Let me separate the line so you can see what I'm doing. And this is the one that you're gonna be making the loops. You go around it 3 or 4 times. Like I said, depending on the weight, if you're using heavy weight, I recommend you go around it 5 times. Okay, so we're gonna do 4 for now. You go four times around the loop, around this, and then that little loop that you made, you're gonna insert this through the loop. You're gonna hold it, and then you're gonna pull the line right here. Hold on, okay, there we go. Right there. Hold it and you pull the line. There you go. See that right there? And that's gonna be your Snell knot. Okay, make sure you pull it so it tightens up real good. And then once you tighten up real good, you go ahead and cut the extra line that you have on it. So you cut the extra line right here. Make sure I grab this good. There you go. There we go. It's not going anywhere. There you have it. That right there is a Snell knot. So what's going to happen is every time you set the hook, when your weight hits the top of the hook, this hook is going to bend forward. It's going to bend forward. So you should hook your fish in the top of the mouth at least 95% of the time. You should be able to hook it right on the top of the mouth. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. And then you get whatever creature bait you're using. You get it in to the hook. Take a little bit to the skin. Take it all the way to the top. Go over it right here at the end. Measure the hook to make sure it's straight. Measure the hook. Put it in. And there you have it. That's your setup right there. And this is the way it's gonna look. Okay? All right, so that's your second one. Now, the third one that I'm gonna talk about is the Pitzen knot. Okay? That's what is known. All I know is that it works great for me. But I'm gonna show you how to make that knot next. All right, my YouTube friends. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you how to make the Pitzen knot. The Pitzen knot, I use this knot just like the Palomar knot. I use it for all my setups. It all depends on how quick, do I need to make a hook? I mean, do I need to make a setup? If I'm just gonna make a quick setup because I have, I just broke off and I need to hurry up and get, a lure or get my bait back in there, I'll go ahead and make a Palomar knot real quick. and get it done. Now the Pitzen knot, it takes a little bit more time, but it's a simple knot, okay? And this is the way you make it. It's simple. You go through the loop, through the front, through the eye of the hook. You bring the line up. Just make sure you have enough line, okay? And then what you do is you make a little loop, okay? And you hold the loop in the top. Once you make the loop, you go around the lines around 5 to 6 times. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you go around the line 5 times. Now you have the line down here at the bottom. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go through this loop in the middle, get the line in there, and pull it to the other side, okay? What I do is to make it, to not mess up the line, I try to keep the lines as straight as I can, and then I go ahead and start slowly tighten it up until I make it to the top, as you can see right here. Once I make it to the top, you can wet your line a little bit, and once you wet your line, you go ahead and start pulling. And there you see the knot coming down and pulling into the eye of the hook. Logically, you're gonna have your weight and your barber stopper or whatever you need in the line. And then after you get all that done, you pull on the line to make sure that nut is tight. And once that nut is tight, you get your scissors and you cut the extra line. You don't need to cut it all the way to the bottom. Right there. That way you have a little extra line in case it needs to tighten up some more. And there you have the Pitzen knot. It's a very simple knot. It's a strong knot. And it only takes a little bit more time than the Palomar knot, but it's a very strong knot. So you can use this knot also. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the loop knot next. All right, my friends. So right now I'm gonna show you how to make a loop knot. Usually I use a loop knot when I'm using finesse swim baits, like a little 2-inch, 2.5-inch swim baits, and I'm gonna be doing some tight lining or something like that. Or I can also use a loop knot when I'm using a popper, or I'm using a Zara spook or something like that, that I want it to have a lot of movement when I'm doing, you know, walking the dog or anything like that. So how do I make this loop knot? It's very simple. All right, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your line and you are going to make a loop around it, just like that. And you're gonna bring it down to about a 1/2 inch. You're gonna bring it down to about a 1/2 inch. That way you have extra line, okay? Right there, that's about a 1/2 inch. Then you're gonna take your jig hook and you're gonna go through the eye of it, okay? You're gonna go through the eye. Then you're gonna bring that extra line and you're gonna go through the little loop, to the 1/2 inch loop that you had made. You're gonna go through it, and then you're gonna bring that little loop close to the eye of the jig, and you're gonna hold it right there. You see I brought it right close? You're gonna hold it right there. I'm gonna tell you later on the reason why you wanna hold it right there. Okay, once you do that, you're gonna use the main line and the extra line, and you're gonna go around it. Let's go around it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, you go 4 times. So if you notice, I'm still holding the loop, the 1/2 inch loop, right there by the eye of the of the jig head, and I went around it 4 times. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna come back down and you're gonna bring that line right through the 1/2 inch loop that you made. Okay? And you're gonna grab it at the other end. Once you grab it at the other end, you're gonna start tightening up the main line and the extra line at the same time. Okay? You're gonna be, let me hold this jig, where it will go right there. Right there. There you go. Once you do that, you push on it, you tighten it up, both sides, and there you have it. Now, why you wanted to hold that little 1/2 inch loop close to the eye of the jig head, the reason is because you don't want that loop to make it to the hook. See, you want that loop to be in front of the hook. What that's gonna do is gonna prevent from that loop to go around the hook, and you get hung up all the time because you got your line, your loop is over and your line is going around the hook all the time. So you want it about that far or a little bit closer to the eye of the loop, to the eye of the jig head, but that's about right where you want it. Okay? And then after you do that, you cut the excess line. Let's go ahead and cut that excess line. And there you have it. There you have it. A perfect loop nut. And like I said, you can use this one for finesse swim baits, tight line with 8-pound, 6-pound fluorocarbon line, or you can use it with Zada spooks for top water, or you can use it for pulpars, any type of lure that you want a lot of movement on it. This is what you can use it. All right. So I hope you learned a new nut there. And let's go ahead and talk about my last nut, which is the one that I use to tie braid line to a leader line, fluorocarbon, or monofilament. All right. So that will be the next one. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about the last nut that I wanted to show you. And this one is the double unit nut. And it's the one that I use to tie a leader to a braid line. It's very simple. I'm going to make it very simple for you. You can go around this a couple times, 3 to 5 loops. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So you take your main line, which is most likely it's going to be your braid line. And you're going to take your leader, you're going to put it next to it, and you're going to make a little loop like that. Once you make that little loop, you're going to go underneath the braid line into the loop, and you're going to do that at least 3 times. So I'm going to go one time, 2 times, and a 3rd time. Okay, let me go completely around it. 3rd time. Right, then you're going to wet your line, and once you wet your line, you're going to straighten it up, pull it, and it's going to make a little nut like that. Okay, like I said, I just went 3 times just to show you. Right here you can see it. Hopefully, let me see if the phone is gonna, the camera is gonna show you. There it is right here. All right, so once you do that, you can go 3 times, 5 times, 6 times, whatever makes you feel that you have a strong nut right there for this connection. Once you get that done, you're gonna do the same thing with your leader. So now you're gonna grab it the other way, and you're gonna grab your braid line and your leader line, and you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna grab your braid line, you're gonna make a quick loop, and you're gonna go around it 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Just to show you how to do it. Like I said, you can do it 5 times, 6 times, whatever makes you feel better. So once you get that done, you're gonna pull on it, you're gonna wet it, and you're gonna pull on it, and you're gonna make that little nut right there. Once you make that nut, now you have both. Let me show you. You can see the fluorocarbon nut right here in this side, and you can see the braid nut on this side. Now you're gonna wet the lines, and once you wet the lines, you're gonna pull, and as you can see, both lines are gonna come together. Once they come together right there in the middle, both knots are gonna come together right there. And then you're gonna pull on it, and you're gonna tighten it up as much as you can. Once it's tight, all you gotta do is get your scissors. You cut the extra line on your fluorocarbon. You cut the extra line on your braid. That's gonna be the hard one. Usually the braid is the hard one to cut. Okay, so let me see if I can get this right. There you go. There we go. And sorry about that. And there you have it. You got a perfect double uni nut for your braid to fluorocarbon or monofilament connection. And that is not gonna break unless you have to break it off because you got hung up or anything like that. So there you have it, guys. Those are my 5 favorite knots to make while I go fishing. I didn't go into details when it comes to the drop shot, but for the drop shot, I basically use the Palomar Knot, and that will be the perfect one to use for the drop shot. But these are the ones, the 5 knots that I use all the time when I go fishing. I hope these help you a little bit. I know this is redundant because I know there's a lot of videos about it, but these are the ones that I do. And since some of you guys were interested in knowing which were the nuts that I use for my lures and my connections and my braid and stuff like that, I decided to make this video for you guys. So anyways, that's all that I have when it comes to all the nuts. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoy that video. Those are my 5 nuts that I use while I fish for bass. They work for me so far. You're gonna break off every once in a while. That's gonna happen, especially if you're casting in rocks and if you're casting laydowns or brush piles or stuff like that. You just gotta make sure that you use a line that is strong enough so you don't break off. Other than that, guys, I hope the video was instructional enough for you guys to learn something. I know it's a little bit redundant, but that's the ones that I use and the ones that work for me, and I wanted to share them with you since I had some of you guys ask for it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe down in the bottom and hit that bell. That will do great things for me. Also, like the video. A lot of people don't realize they watch a little bit of the video or they watch the whole video and they don't hit the like button. And the like button, we need you guys to hit that button. Even if you don't like it, go ahead and hit it. But we need you to hit the like button. That way, that's going to help us to get the video to more people. That's what YouTube uses, and that's what's going to get the video to be shown to more people. So thank you for your support. Thank you for watching the video. Share with your friends. Have a good time. Keep fishing. Enjoy life. Tight lines.